ongoing, but last night was the big,
dramatic.
yeah, yeah, it was big.
Okay.
Maureen.
I want to say amen. The same thing happened to me night before last. I love to sleep when I can get it. I was up 5 hours, and nobody up there was talking to me. I have a running conversation with them. It was like, where'd they put me? I thought they put me on an island in the middle of the Pacific Ocean. I didn't know what to do. And when I finally tried to, it was getting light, I tried to get some water out of my jug thing that has a little spigot. And I missed. Water was running all over the floor. It seemed like my coordination was just a slight bit off. So I said, okay, I better not get in the car right away. Figure out where I am. Because it was very unusual. And I actually felt that the building I live in has a lot of people there now. Everybody's come to live there where I live. And I was separated from them. It was like my apartment wasn't in that building anymore. It slid somewhere else. So I think that this example that's going on with us is actually the example of what the earth will do to get her new template at some point and be the new earth. Because we're just sort of the guinea pigs of it, sort of, but we'll be examples, and then pretty soon the whole earth will change the template, and we will have peace and abundance, and no children will go to bed hungry, and we'll have no one sleeping in the bushes by my river. It's not my river, but I live by it. People are sleeping in the bushes. That'll be gone. That'll be gone. And so, think about this in your heart, and know that one of the things that has been very helpful, dear one, Scott, is those papers you gave us 3 years ago, how to do the DNA. I'm telling you, those are the most valuable papers, better than over in D.C. where they keep the Constitution. This is very valuable, because when you do it, you're actually playing jump high. You remember that game in 6th grade? It was high, low, jump rope. They kept raising it and raising it. Okay, so here's how you do it. You do those DNA things. Your DNA gets so with it that you actually have stuff that's going on this earth, but it's below your feet. Okay? You're up high enough that the stuff just skims by your feet, but it doesn't touch you. And when you get to a certain point, you will be given your crown of your Christhood. They'll come and give it to you. You might be just being quiet, or maybe you're out on a little hike, and they say, sit down on that rock, we got something to do. And they bring your crown. And that crown is forever. The crown of your Christhood. So that's truth today. And I want to thank everybody that helped me with my truth class. Thank you very much. Keep an eye open. I'm going to be doing one in March, and that will be the vision of the new governance that was shown to me by God Surya. And I'd like you to come out, and maybe you could come and work the crowd.
Work the crowd. Well, as soon as you said it, I'm like, I get to participate in that. I get to be there. So
Yeah, I think that would be great, because nobody fainted during the truth classes, but I did red pill, didn't I?
Yeah.
I did red pill. She came up 3 times and said,
I've never
you
heard
really
any of
opened
this.
my ears.
Yeah.
I never heard such stuff.
No.
So wait till you hear this one.
Exciting.
We gotta get the template going. In other words, when you make a dress, you go buy a pattern, right? And then you trim it, and you got it all ready. Okay, so we're working on this new governance. Has nothing to do with what's going on in Washington DC. In fact, I put that in a great big ball of violet flame, and I said, oh my, just keep putting violet flame around it. But it has to do with every soul here is government. The Christ in you, the government shall be upon her shoulder. Like that one? Her shoulder. And so every one of you have that ability to hold the government. So the government I'm going to be talking about is the least intrusive, so that it holds a cradle for every creative soul in this nation. You create. Thank you.
Yes, beautiful, thank you for sharing.
Yeah, I'm just gonna add a little bit that the void that all of us are starting to associate more and more with is where we're creating all of this, because the great divine director and the divine architect are there with us, helping us create a better reality. So, it's pretty cool.
Well, are the shiftings actually, the 24 strands increasing? Because I had the exact same issue last night. I slept a couple hours, wide awake, had no clue as to why. I finally ended up getting a little reading, because I'm still I consider myself a baby with all this information. And eventually fell back to sleep and had a weird dream. That it just weird, that's all I can describe. But I said that literally as I was driving to the class, I feel different. I just feel different. I don't know what it is. I was blurting it out of my mouth. So is that?
The reality is
it-
shifting, yes.
Is the 24 strand when you're talking about because I'm still doing and when I was testing, I'm up in the 50 range. But is that the shifting? And are dreams something where you're just getting rid of stuff that doesn't make sense anymore, or is it something that needs attention? I'm not quite clear, because they're so bizarre.
It doesn't need attention, just needs to be let go.
Let go, just transmute it, okay.
Because whatever we put our attention on draws it to us. So
Yeah.
what we're doing is we're kind of shifting and letting things go.
Okay.
That's why they're so weird and
Yeah.
not associated.
Yeah,
Because we're not associated with it anymore.
okay.
Depends on the dream. Well, because I asked Spirit to come into my dreams and teach me. And so when I would wake up with these dreams, I would go and I'd write them down. I didn't always understand them. When I would first write them down, it just looked like a movie playing out, right? And then I'm like, okay, now what? What's the message here and there? And then they would ask me questions like, what stands out and what about that and how does it relate to your life? And then it was like, by the time the process was done, it was like there was a beautiful lesson and a message that was with the dream. That had very little to do with what the actual dream looked like, but anyway, but that was my experience with dreams because I asked for that.
Yeah, that's your
Yeah, I
intention.
didn't do any asking.
But there's a lot of different purposes for dreams. Some are prophetic and some are just, we're working through our
Flushing
stuff
stuff
and
out.
flushing stuff out. And so yeah, there's a lot of.
And I saw my room different because, I share the room with my mom. We both sleep on the same bed because we're in a one bedroom. We closed it off so that my girls can have the other part of the house. And so I'm laying in bed, Mom's snoring. Then all of a sudden I didn't hear her at all. Then I didn't see her. Then I look around the room and my bedroom furniture wasn't there. It was rearranged. And it just, my whole room looked different. And I'm like, well, where's my dresser? And then all of a sudden I saw the dresser over here. And I'm like, ooh, this looks really weird. So it was like, like it said, the overlays. They were overlays showing me my existence of where I was right then and there. And then maybe what it's going to look like. hard to describe, but I saw different layers at the same time.
Yeah, everything's in the now,
Mhm.
and even the future is now.
Yeah.
The past is now, and we need to become in the moment. And in the moment, we'll see things as they really should be and are.
Yeah.
And that's been cool.
What I've been experiencing, especially this past week, has been really, like, it's just one thing after another. And it was given to me that everything is about our current perspective. We can change it. And if we're feeling stuck, it's even more about your perception and your perspective. So my husband and I both have wounded. We had a wounded child. We had traumatic childhood. So all that stuff's been coming up, and it's like we have to heal that, and then say goodbye, and then get up on that animal, whatever animal you want. It could be a winged harrier, and you get on that and you fly high, high, and then you look down at it, and it's a whole different perspective, and then you can heal it.
It's beautiful. Yeah, this month, the energies are also supporting the healing. So our personal self, we can bring attention to our woundedness anywhere and forgive ourselves, and bring that love in, and it's shifting. Yeah, so the wounded child, because most of us had some wounding in our childhood, even if it wasn't anything traumatic, just our little brains.
And see, there, it's about
That
perspective
perspective.
again.
Mhm.
Because two people can experience the exact same thing, and one just rolls off their back and the other one's stuck in it, and it
Traumatized,
they allow it to destroy them, and they can't see past it. So it's about just getting rid of all the old and like you were saying, dreaming. I've been wanting to create stuff. I'm gonna be a creator, and I'm gonna create some really cool stuff.
Beautiful. Yeah, and with your creativity, that helps bring out that creator, just in your mind, you can daydream, you can, just actually start, working with things in a different way and just accentuating your creativity to really enhance that, letting that stuff come up and, let that energy flow. So, that's beautiful. Thank you.
Have you ever seen things happen faster than Superwoman when you say something? Last couple weeks ago, I was standing in front of one of our members here, she's not here now, her SUV, and I was looking at it and I said, "Oh, how'd you get all those dents in your car?" And she said, "Well, my husband bought the car real cheap from Colorado because it got in a hailstorm." And do you know what? In 24 hours, we had a hailstorm at my apartment over there at Riverwalk. I don't know if you had a hailstorm, but it came down in great big balls all over the sidewalk and the driveway.
A couple of weeks ago.
A couple of weeks ago.
Yeah.
So, sometimes you have to really watch how much emotion you put behind what you're saying. Because the emotion acts like a kickstart, and it manifests. And it did. Hailstones in St.
Does
George.
anybody else feel like they're shifting timelines?
Oh, absolutely.
Right?
Like, I know that this used to be this way, and now it's this other way.
Yeah, it's completely
That's
different.
been happening a
A
lot.
lot.
Yeah.
Nice.
Now, we're actually in between worlds right now.
Yeah, that's what's so funny.
And I noticed
And
that
it's
we're-
not set in stone. We can
Yeah.
create whatever we desire. And my opinion is we need to align with those who've gone before us in the ascension so that we can go through the ascension process. But there's a lot of humans who don't want to go through the ascension process. they're doing
Exactly.
everything they can to keep the status quo. So we're in this dichotomy.
And
where
they're
the-
clinging on with everything they have to
Yeah.
not change.
Fingernails.
And I'm just like, yeah.
Mhm.
And I think all of us have this little part, well, I don't know, I have a little part of me that wants to just hang on to that. Well, I really like that part about my old life, you know? And, so maybe it just needs to have a different coat of paint on it or something, different spin.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
just revisit it, and,
Yes.
you know,
It
bring
was
it in,
comfortable.
yeah.
And I'm like so stubborn to change on the Capricorn.
At
But,
least you're not a Leo.
Yeah, she's a Leo. Yeah.
Leos are tougher. Go ahead.
I have a hard time at work, because I'll, you know, I don't resonate with it at times, and so I have a really hard time, especially Mondays. Mondays is busy, everything is go, 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 go. I don't have time to think, and then it's like, and then I walk in and I'm like, what am I doing? How do you do this? And I have to call it, okay, I need my angels could come down here, tell me how to do this work, I totally forgot how to do this work, come on, help me out here. And then I do one thing, and then it's like, oh, and then it comes back. And I'm like, whew, all right, you know, but yeah, there are times where I totally don't resonate with my job at all, I have no clue what I'm doing, I'm like, I forgot the process, I forgot what's next. I'll look at the computer and it's a blur, and I have to constantly call my angels down, I need help, I need help.
You're in another world.
Yeah.
We
I
won't
don't
tell
feel
your
bad
boss.
now.
We won't tell
I
your
don't
boss.
feel bad.
It's a struggle sometimes.
I thought it was my concussion.
And when it's so busy that I can't even think, I get overwhelmed, I go to the bathroom and I'm like, breathe, breathe.
That's
And I
the
do that.
grounding, yeah.
No, I can, I do this, and I'm like, breathe, okay, we can do this, we can do this.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's rough.
So much energy.
It's
yes.
fun being between worlds, isn't it?
It's interesting, it's really interesting. Well, and we're in a 5 energy year, which is a lot of change and movement. So, you know, we have to anticipate the adventure in that, you know, and be excited. And, you know, if we do feel kind of lost in it, you know, then grounding is really important, you know, and if you get kind of disconnected, you can just ask your heart to teach your brain what you need to know, because, you know, that's a powerful tool. So,
Well, are the dark forces, have they been stopped? I mean, I've been reading the Bringers of the Dawn, the Palladian teachings, and are we at the point where they have finally been, they don't have control over the real estate of this planet? Or are they still fighting and influencing? I mean, I'm told that we are gonna make it, this planet is gonna make it. So where are they at this point? I mean, where?
They're still fighting, trying to win, but they have lost.
They have already lost. So at
Yeah,
what
the
point?
timeline has shifted in the favor of ascension.
Okay, so then at what point and what intelligence says, okay, you're done, you're leaving? You know, they've lost, but if they're still fighting, at what point does that energy leave and there is no more of that dark influence on this planet?
They're leaving right now.
Are they?
Texas,
Yeah.
Texas got tired and said, we're not gonna wear masks anymore. That happened yesterday.
Yep,
Oh,
yep.
was it? Oh, I didn't hear that.
It goes into effect today, so yeah, on Wednesday, he said.
The whole
Yeah.
state.
They're
The
over it.
whole state.
And what was it, Missouri or Mississippi? I think it's Missouri. It's 2 states that did
Well,
that.
there's more, there's
Yeah.
37 states
Well,
right
yeah,
now.
Yeah, I posted a map of it, I found it this morning, and I
Yeah.
posted it on my, Facebook page, and it's more than half the United States.
Yeah, we're
Yeah.
saying,
They're
we're done with
opening up.
your
They're
bold
100%
baloney,
opening up.
we're not gonna do it anymore.
Yeah.
And we, honestly, here, we haven't really done it, really.
We were
We've
never
been so
really
lucky.
closed down.
Yeah, we've been lucky.
Well, southern Utah.
Yeah.
Northern Utah was,
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah, they got hit hard.
It was different.
Thank God I haven't.
yeah, we're a bunch of rebels down here, even though they took away the rebel name.